Big Mecha.
Guys, we are here for a brief interlude as part 2 of our most recent recording, but we are here to discuss the newest episode of Gquuuuuux. This is a special interlude for Big Mecha, but not huge. I have with me Wilhelm and Paul. Say hello, both of you.
Hello.
So we are going to try to do this as quickly as possible because we just got finished doing a really long recording. So we're going to talk about episode 7? Is it 7? Or was it 8? I think it was 8.
It's 8. Not sure.
Yeah,
All I know is that I called it.
Yeah, so episode 8 of Gquuuuuux. So this was an interesting episode in which that basically we got all the stuff that we complained about not being able to see again. All the Char stuff that they took out from the movie. And, didn't...
They added a bunch, too.
They did. It was weird.
They added a lot.
But it also, didn't it feel like that they still managed to miss out on a few other things? I feel like that they were still missing some stuff.
What did you feel that they missed out on?
So I don't remember if they did it in episode 2 or not, but did they ever go over the whole idea of Char finding out that he's a new type?
They went over that. What do you mean finding
the second episode?
Yeah, he's a new type. That's why he can pilot the new type suit that literally requires you to be a new type.
Okay.
Even if he didn't think he's a new type, he's clearly psychic. He's controlling the psychic machines that blow stuff up.
Okay, I guess I missed that. I don't know why. But yeah, it was interesting seeing that for the first half of the episode, and then the rest of it was basically the fallout from everything that happened prior.
Mm-hmm. It was fantastic.
Oh my god. So, Will, what did you think?
I am so very happy that this show is leaning so heavily on new types as the core. I also really like the characters that they're making so far. I enjoy that Machu is ostensibly the main character, but they made Nyan the other main character. The show is very clearly at this point going to follow both of them, and they're going to be the two of them are going to be the main character. Like, if you put them together, that's your focus. Each one of them is growing in power as a new type. Each one of them is experiencing a lot. They also are doing the whole, which I don't know if it's on purpose, but I'm going to say it is. Each of them are points on a timeline traveling in opposite directions. Nyan has already experienced the horror and loss of war. She's a war orphan. She's had to do a bunch of dark stuff just to survive. She's led a hard life. Machu has not. But Machu is now experiencing what Nyan has already gone through. She's seen her colony fall to violence. She has experienced it herself, had to be involved, actively had to harm people to save herself and others, and she's essentially coming to grips with all that at the same time. She's been labeled an enemy. Her family now has to deal with that. All things are occurring, so she's experiencing Nyan's life backwards. Nyan has ironically now fallen into actually kind of being safe, except because Nyan is involved with Azabi, she is now drawn into the web of politics and intrigue that is being a part of that type of world. But because she's led such a hard life and she basically trusts no one, good call, she is able to essentially exist there and not be confused or angry or even surprised. She just kind of expects things to go badly.
She isn't able to be surprised by betrayal.
No, she expects betrayal at every turn. She expects people to care about her, quote unquote, but at some point they will either decide she's not worth it and be like, I care about you, but I'm not going to go that far to help you. Or they are feigning it and they don't really mean it. Like, they say, oh, I care about you, but they don't truly mean those words, which is funny because her and Nyan and I forget his name because he's now written out of the show. Floaty McTuff Shuji, robots guy. So he's gone now. But can we just real quick, since we're talking this much about, y'all saw the preview, right? You saw the preview? You know what's in the next episode?
Explain.
Not dead in this universe, and by the way, also totally fine and apparently fucking living on Earth.
Lala.
You mean Lala?
Oh, yeah, Lala.
Lala is fucking fine. She survived the war, lives on Earth, and Machu's gonna run into her next episode. That's a lot.
That is a lot for a Gundam fan to accept. That is a lot.
It's just like, oh, sweet. So she's not dead.
Lala.
She isn't just gonna be there for Char to get killed. And ironically, Char is the one who died. Take that, Gwen Stacy. It's
So,
essentially what they're
but did
doing.
he die? Because who did we get at the very end of the episode?
What do you
I'm
what?
Oh,
inferring,
you're talking about the blonde dude?
yeah, the blonde dude who doesn't show his face.
I
I
don't
wonder
think
who
The
that's
that
blonde
could
Char.
guy.
be.
I don't think that's Char.
That's
He's too
Quattro
young.
Brigina.
It might be.
He's too
No,
young.
it wouldn't be.
He's too young.
No, he'd be the right age. It's been 6 years.
Yeah,
He'd be in his
it's
20s.
Quattro. Straight up, it's got to be Quattro.
Which means that he didn't die, so Shuji just got teleported to Earth too.
Probably.
I mean, I will say I really liked. Okay, I really enjoyed that part where that one dude pointed a gun at Nian, and then her cat robot vaped him.
Mm-hmm.
I love that it's cat themed. Two, that the two cat ears are funnels. That's great. And three, I really liked that watching the animation, he literally, like frame by frame, he goes from standing there to they straight up don't have him there because that's how fast he just
Oh yeah,
disappears. He's just gone.
that's definitely not an error. That was on
Also,
purpose.
no, that was on purpose. That's
Mm-hmm.
they're illustrating how powerful the lasers are. And that's what happens if you shoot a human. Because if it melts through steel in like milliseconds, yeah, you don't exist.
Also, I just have to say, I called it.
Also, it activated without her having to say anything. That was so fucking
It's
cool.
so goddamn cool the fact that we're getting this now, where basically all they have to do is just feel the presence of it. I love it.
Oh, it's so good. God damn. Also, there's three new types in this universe. There's the new types made by the Earth Feds. There's the new types that are apparently clones being made by Giran, and then there's natural new types which keep getting found.
Right, like Nian and Machu.
Yeah. Whereas in the original
That's
animes,
true.
each of those things were basically created separately in totally separate stories. They're all now coexisting.
Where
That
did
is good that
the
they're
clones?
taking.
Clones is basically the plie, right?
Yeah, it's probably going to be like
Yeah.
six girls with mushroom cuts who are all blonde and short and young and all named Puru.
Puru, that's it. I don't know why I said plie. So
Yeah,
yeah, those are considered the cyber new types. Where are the ones that Giran came from? Like, where did they originate from?
that's Giran. The clones are
Yeah.
Girans. I think they call them cyber new types as well, but the Earth Federation is essentially doing the same thing where they, in quote unquote, enhance humans to make them into new
Mm-hmm.
types. I assume that means they're implanting like stuff into them biologically, so like shoving technology into their brain or something, or just a lot of like extensive testing and essentially trauma to build their brain in a certain way so that they can react to the machine. But they also mention they they mentioned that it's weird they can interact with with the robot without wearing a special suit that enhances
Mm-hmm.
that. So even being a natural new type, it's not normal to be able to essentially be a new type outside the robot. You have to have a helper because normally new types aren't that awakened.
So, just to do a quick plot breakdown. Like I said, we get the first half where it's the Char stuff that we were missing out on, and then it
Hmm.
focuses on Nan and what she's up to at this point because it briefly cuts to Machu, where she's in the prison cell, but then at the
The
very
next
end,
episode's gonna explain. They're gonna do time jump a little.
yeah, they're gonna show everything that's happening in tandem. At the
Hmm.
very end, you see the Gquuuuuux already falling towards Earth. It's like, good
Yep.
lord! So she must have done a
And it's
massive
so much
breakout.
happens. So much
Yeah.
happens so fast in this show.
It
Well,
does, and I
she's.
realize it
Mm,
because this season's only 13 episodes.
Oh wow, really? This is about to
Yeah,
be
so
over?
I'm
Oh shit.
hoping that we actually have a season 2 that's gonna be like the full series of it, which would be nice. I'm hoping it's not just a 13 episode series because I
I mean, if it
really
is,
like
that
where all this is
explains this
going.
pacing, because holy crap.
Yeah, a lot is
Breakneck.
happening. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
So with Nian, she is taken in by Cecilia, and she's basically told that I'm gonna go ahead and cover everything for you, and you need to enroll into our academy, and it's basically a new type academy. And
Hmm.
then she ends up meeting her cadet squad. I guess I don't know.
She meets her handler, who is the White Knight dude, and then he
Right.
introduces her to the one, the one pilot that's left, because apparently, her suit, the one they're gonna stick her in, has killed two pilots, or they think it has killed two pilots already. Turns out that's not what happened, but uh, they're on third
Mm,
round, and they don't know why.
Paul, what happens? Why are these two pilots, presumed dead because of the suit?
because one, No, is it Miguel? Yeah, sorry,
Miguel. Yeah,
Miguel.
it's Miguel.
Miguel
Miguel. Yeah,
has
Miguel.
Fucking
poisoned
racist.
the other temp pilots because he
Hmm.
is working for Giran and trying
Yep.
to stop
More
Cassilia.
internal.
Yeah, trying to stop Cassilia from creating a new
Hmm.
superpower in space.
Okay. No, they and this I don't like that about this episode. They name drop so much shit
Hmm.
with zero explanation. They word Diablo, which they have not used before now and give no explanation for. They used there was an apostrophe in its name, so I assume it's one of the Xeon robots because they have
Hmm.
apostrophe robots. They name drop those two things with very little explanation. They kind of infer that Nian is a new type who, quote unquote, is a Diablo already, but I don't know if Miguel was just freaking out because I don't know what a Diablo even is because they never defined it. They
I
just
think it's
dropped
just
the
another
term out of
form of new
nowhere,
type.
like Mav.
I think it's just Giran's.
But it's not type because
No,
they
I
have
think
new
it's
type.
Giran's propaganda version of explaining that new types are evil. So he wanted everyone to think, oh, they are Diablo, they are the devil, they are witchcraft. It's
Well,
witchcraft
that
that you
doesn't make
can't be
sense
trusted.
compared to the original show because, after having gone through that recently, Gieran's the one who funded the whole thing of new types in the first place. Like, he wanted to actually explore it more.
Yeah, but now you're going off of Cassilia.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
True.
but
that's
now
a
you
different
have
universe at this
Cassilia who
point.
has control of the military, and she is probably going to use new type. And if she uses new types as the future, he won't have. He has to use them as a villain so that he doesn't look bad. What is
I
easier
don't
to
know that
do?
that makes sense, but
It's
Gieran
big.
is
He's
still more than
basically
likely trying to
creating a
be
witch
Hitler
hunt.
again.
Yes, but he's trying to use a minimalist subclass that he could easily create propaganda. And let's be honest, a new type using their abilities would feel like witchcraft to a layman because they're able to predict what you're going to do or see or attempt to feel your vibe out. It would
Hmm.
feel like witchcraft, and someone who is as Zionistic as Giran would use that to his advantage. Say that Cassilia is using Diablos to take over the military and take
Maybe.
over the sides.
Unless it's an actual death squad that, Cassilia wants to create called the Diablos.
Sadly, I could believe that too. And also,
Maybe.
give me.
But if that were true, then she'd be taking a more proactive approach to her brother because she wouldn't be waiting for him to get around to do stuff. She wouldn't be
It's
waiting for
possible.
him to
I'm
assassinate
betting
her. She
anything
would have
we're
just
going to
had him
see a
killed at this
big
point.
death towards the end of the
It's
season.
been 6 years. She would have just,
I
yeah,
think we'll
someone's gonna
see a
die, but I don't know who
big
it'll be.
attempted assassination without
No,
actually seeing an assassination.
there's no way that they're gonna cliffhang that. There's got to be an actual death. I
No,
mean, this whole
it's
show has not given any qualms in giving us death throughout the entire thing so far. I'm
no,
pretty
I
sure
know
we're gonna get
that.
an actual death. Yeah.
Yeah, but I know that.
They
But
have
I'm just
murdered a
saying,
lot
I
of
don't think
characters.
politically wise, I think this show is gonna go above and beyond and take advantage of everything that they can do.
Well,
Because we
yeah, that's
all
why we would
know.
have to have a big death at the end.
I don't think we'll
Hmm.
have a big death. I think they'll have a faux big death.
But if they do that, then there's no other villain. Like at this point, they've written Giran and Cassilia to be Team A, Team B, and there is no third power in. They talk about the zombie family, but they don't.
I mean, you've got
We
the
don't
new form
see
of
any
the
other powers
Titans
except
that they
Giran and
haven't,
Cassilia.
fully established their name yet, but they're there.
Oh shit.
The Kikaroga, that's also a
Yeah,
brawl
they
bro.
also got absolutely bodied by one dude who is using an outdated robot from the war.
But that was just
So,
those things. I mean, obviously they're gonna have completely
yeah,
different
yeah,
army,
he just absolutely
even if
bodied
they're like
them and
infiltrators,
crushed them.
they've got to
So,
have a different set. There's
I
no
don't know
reason
that
that
they
they would
count.
just introduce that one guy with the goggles only to have him not show up again. I'm sure he's gonna be there doing other shit too.
Oh shit. I just had an idea.
I don't want it.
What if the Psycho Gundam 2 is piloted by you know who?
But they already had the Psycho Gundam too.
True.
No, we only seen the Psycho Gundam. What if Mark 2 is piloted by Amuro as their first as their literally as yeah, as their
I
and
don't
they
see him
are
doing that for
no, I don't
the
mean
Titans though.
I don't mean like no, I don't think he'll be cognizant. I think he'll be a living weapon. Like they will like the Titans will be experimenting and take
Hmm. See
Amuro,
that
clone him
as
to
their only
create
true new type. Like he's
the
not
other
You
cyber,
cyber new
think
he's
he's the
types.
real, so he's
clones,
better.
or he's the originating? Sorry,
I think
you
they
think he's
could
the
use
reason
him
that they're
as the
cloning?
originating. I wouldn't put it past Amuro's dad.
Hmm.
I wouldn't put
Yeah.
it past Amuro's dad.
Mm,
Actually, yeah, with how the war went, the way they lost, and the way that the program fell apart, I could see them forcing his father. They basically, immediately the war fails, they lose, so they kidnap Amuro's dad, and Amuro goes with him. And while his dad is in hiding and working for them, they realize that his son has new type potential. They then take his son and basically just start experimenting on him, and he becomes the foundation for the cyber new type program as patient zero. That
mm.
also means by the time we get there, he's essentially body horror Amuro, where he's just like totally screwed up, like missing an eye, like all messed up, plugged into the robot. But his new type abilities are off the charts because they've totally tuned in to figure out how they work, and he is patient zero for them. But because they're desperate, they're going to treat him really, really badly, which is why it's so horrifying.
So
I could see them do
I'm
that.
gonna say
And I
that this is gonna happen only because we were all fucking right the last fucking time that we talked.
I know we went off on a tangent last time and just, oh, I guess we're correct.
yeah,
That was so
I do
weird.
think that when Machu gets to Lala, Lala's gonna talk about having dreams of hearing a screaming new type begging for
There,
mercy.
she'll be like, "Do you hear the screams?" And Macho will be like, "Screams of what?" And she'll be like, "Oh, I hear them sometimes when I'm alone and it's really quiet." And you're just that's their foreshadowing. And like either the final fight in episode 13 or like the first big moment in the next season, assuming there's a season 2, is like that. That
So
would that'd be
let me
pretty
ask you
crazy.
guys this: considering how many changes that they've had with this particular timeline, do
Yep.
you think that they will find a way to course correct?
What do you mean
I
course
think
correct? At
so
this point, we're
now.
in new territory. None of this is
I
all new shit
I
at this
know.
point.
Just hear me out. Do you think that there's a way with all this fuckery that's going on that it will
Okay.
somehow manage to get back into not the quote unquote correct time, but like
Yeah.
in a way of trying to right itself, making it,
So we're a
be
unicorn.
similar to the correct timeline?
Okay, so at the end of
Yes and
all of this
no.
infighting, it just winds up with all the zombies are dead. Char and Amuro are both alive, and they're both huge focal points for power politically. So
Yeah,
they wind up having to like work together. I'll be more
yeah.
like
I
the book.
feel like I feel like it could get there, but when it gets there, it won't be how we expect it to be. I feel like they'll bring it to Amuro being a beacon for new types to go to congregate to be free, while
Ooh.
Shar comes out of nowhere
So like a
to
third
be
faction of just new types who separate from both of the other factions and they draw and
to
accept all new types, cyber new type, clone new
yeah.
type, natural, and they become a third political power. And they take
And
themselves out of being weapons of war. They're no longer tools. Interesting.
Unless they
and
become Neo Zeon.
no, I
No, they
think
wouldn't.
Shar will create Neo Zeon. I think
It's
Shar
usually
will
what
come out
happens.
and will create Neo Zeon, and but he will only show up after Cassilia and Girin have killed each other off,
Hmm.
or once one of them is dead, then Shar will appear and create a new Neo Zeon that has all the beliefs that Zeon Zundaikun had,
The true Xeon. He
and
creates the one based off of his
like
father's
he'll
vision and not the twisted, warlike one that the zombies had.
yeah,
I could see that.
and
Wait, are we
that
talking
will
about the original Vision, or are we talking about the Shar's counterattack Vision, where basically
no
he
no
just went nuts and decided, I want to do this thing just so I can fight Amuro one last time?
no, I think he'll use his father's original vision, but halfway through towards the end he will become antagonistic to the piece that Amuro is trying to create for the new types, and will eventually go after them, causing a new Char's counterattack. So that he can be the one that all the new types are coming to. Because I see him wanting to create and join all of Xeon together. Sorry, all the space noids together, and then be focused on, I want the new types. They are my people, so I want the new types with me, not with someone I don't know and I don't know I can trust.
Okay, so let me ask this then. Do you think at the very end of this season we get a big fight between Machu and Yan?
Okay.
And they end up splitting up. Neither of them die, but they end up splitting up, right?
Ooh, and they become faction leaders?
Maybe, but
Ooh.
on top of that, we get another time gap between now and the Char's counterattack time.
I can see that.
So they'd retell the story of Char's counterattack of Nyan versus Machu, where both disillusioned from what happened during their war, and you wind up seeing the two of them fight each other.
Yeah.
And then there'll be a new series based off of everything that happened between Machu and Neon during that timeline.
No, that'll just be season 2. They'll just be season 2.
Oh, so you mean like the final episode will be a jump to the future where they're in like perfect suits and going into the Char's counterattack situation, and they both get.
Well, I'm thinking like
what
at the
are
end
they
of
calling
this season. At the end of this season, they get their fight, and then they end up splitting up, and then we don't know anything about what happens to them until the next season when we get that time jump to when Char's counterattack would take place.
Oh, okay.
And instead of Char's counterattack happening, it's Nyan versus Machu, and they're both older, better at fighting, and also much harsher individuals because of all the warfare.
I can see that happening. I really can.
Yeah,
I
can see that
being a dream
Although I'm
situation.
curious
Like,
because as depressing as that would be, and as much as the guy likes 0080, which he has said is his favorite, I don't know that they are at this point building up to a really tragic ending for the characters. It feels almost like it's going to be a mixed and muddled for the audience. It'll be like a muddled ending, but it will be one that fits the world that they're writing and the way that their world works. I know that sounds kind of weird. What I mean by that is they're not purely going for the darkest option, kill a character, make it, hurt, make it really tragic to tell the death toll of war. This is more of a philosophical exploration of like how things affect people. Like Machu genuinely was trying to figure out, because being a new type means you are way more in tune with other people. She was trying to figure out how a person could act and feel a certain way, but then you put them in a suit and all of a sudden they became this totally other person, and then they die, and she feels all of that, plus she's experiencing battle for the first time essentially still, and all of this is happening at the same time, and she's trying to wrestle with it and trying to come up with it, and it all comes down to her still being confused and still working through it. Even from everything they've shown, Machi still hasn't fully crystallized to understand her experiences yet. And part of being a new type, which they are taking from the books and from the explanations of it, it puts you more vulnerable, then you are more sensitive to other people and to how things work. That sensitivity lets you do the whole, like, essentially magical reaction speed thing that they have, but it also literally puts them in touch with each other. And then that's kind of that weird nebulous place. I'm curious what they're going to do with all of that, as opposed to just telling a story of war bad, which is a very Tomino thing to do. I think that's the direction they're going. I think they're going in a more exploration of how these things affect people, and I don't know what their end game is because I don't really feel it yet. It still feels like we're building, and I don't quite see where they're headed. That's me though.
That's why I'm thinking that if we get that season 2, it's going to manage to make things more explosive.
Honestly, part of me feels like literally the final episode is going to be Neon and the Gquuuuux versus Machu and the Gquuuuux. Machu and the Gquuuuux and Neon and the G-Fred fighting, and their fighting causes a Zek Nova, and we actually see where everyone goes to when they are destroyed, after going through the Zek Nova.
Alright, so Shuji's Zek Nova, obviously, right?
Yep.
How much do we want to bet that he's
Nova,
doing Fent in the middle of a back alley, somewhere on Earth?
Wow, really?
I don't think he's doing Fent in the back alley, but I do think he's doing something illegal in a back alley in on
Damn.
Earth or
Damn.
on another side. But I do think that it is something. I think personally, I think Shuji might be on Luna 2. I think he might be on Luna 2 where Char vanished from. And I think that Char vanished from Luna 2 to being in the atmosphere about to enter Earth, where in the original timeline the Sazabi and Gundam vanished from. So I do think that it's gonna have connected lines to where everything is going, because it does feel like there is a flow in everything, that certain things are connected, and Char said it as much as Char said, "Who are you? What are you doing from on the other side?" I feel like there's something more. Like there is another, like when he said the other side, I feel like there's another. Like they're going to bring up that there's two separate timelines.
I mean, it's possible, and if that's the case, I'm all for it, because, again, this is something that has been, like, a mainstay in certain reboots recently, i.e. Evangelion reboots, or fucking Final Fantasy VII Remake. You know, it's exactly the same shit that I really, really like, so if that's the case, I'm all for it.
I'm personally, as a Gundam fan, I am loving where this series is going. They are showing so much love to the previous material, and at the same time as showing that there's a new path to tread, that I respect what's going on. As long as they keep showing this much respect to the previous content and showing that they are willing to do new things, I'm all for it. And I'm saying this as someone who's watched other series where they showed full-on disrespect to the core material and just did their own thing. The Witcher, for example. I wasn't a fan of the books before seeing the show, and then I went and started listening and reading the books. Yet I see where they've where they changed characters drastically. This show has been showing so much respect to the core material while doing their own thing, where I'm personally not worried at where they're taking it, because I know and I've seen that they're showing the proper respect due to the original and everything that came before. So I am all for this season. And if we only get 13 episodes of this would be 13 great episodes that were failed because they didn't greenlight a season 2 already. But that's my personal opinion.
That was a long-ass opinion. Anyways.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong? As a Gundam fan, am I wrong?
I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm also not going to agree with you.
Wow, such a brave opinion to have. Sitting on that fence.
So
brave.
So brave.
Such a political position.
So middling. So beige.
But guys, I'm excited for the next episode. I think the next episode is gonna just rock. Like, just straight up, it's gonna rock. I can't wait. So when we talk about this, it will probably be a little bit, because we're going to take some time off in order to start working on the edits of, the previous episodes that we've worked on. And then when we come back, we're going to have 3 episodes to talk about, more than likely. So prepare for a doozy of an interlude. So yeah, this is your Gquuuuuux interlude for episode 8. You guys have a Gundam slogan? Because I can't think of one.
That was no Zaku.
Nani?
This is no Zaku, boy. No Zaku.
Good night,
Good night,
everybody.
everyone.
Good night, y'all.